there, let's go for a ride. Howdy, folks. PB here, and today we're going to do a little slice. If you notice, as we get up here, we're going to go down this road here, which we could take further, but we're going to do the crust of the pizza slice here, and then bring it back on around and back to the boat. I call it a little slice because if we went further, it'd still look like a weird kind of slice of pizza. And after we do that one later, you can go even further, which is yet to come. But for today, we're going to do the little slice. It's Saturday, the 15th of May. Nice temperature, bit on the windy side. But once the temperatures go up, the wind tends to die down. We're going to be trying something new this time around also. The mount for my camera rotates at 15 degrees at a time. And so we're going to be shooting parts of this at that 15-degree angle. Get a better view of one side of the path we're on. And my apologies beforehand for when I get my finger in the way. Being Saturday, the farmer's market is up and running. And it's a beautiful day for just basically strolling around downtown New Bern. Now we're going to go over here and go around the back of the museum. Little piece of the river walk. Before we get on that long straight slice of the trip. Now, there on the left was the way you can cut through around the fence instead of going all the way up. Come this summer, there'll be quite a few boats out there moored. As it's a popular place. The switch in the angle seems to be working pretty well. As long as I don't get my fingers in the way. Now, all of these buildings that we're looking at now have been vacant since the hurricane a couple years ago. Well, it'll be 3 years ago this September. This is all public housing, and the building on the left was the Public Housing Authority. Likewise, these buildings on our left. It's not till you get up here to Walt Bellamy Drive that the buildings are still being habitated. That's a lot of housing they lost. And yes, allergies are still making me pause for the honk and the honker. COVID doesn't have a chance getting past my allergies. But then, I haven't had a virus since I was 7 years old. And that's 65 years ago. It's kind of stark, the difference between the houses we just passed on the left and the ones on the right. The ones on the left back there all seem to be fairly new, which I don't know if that was part of some project or just happened that way organically. But we finish up here on the street named after one of the best Indiana University basketball players in history, Walt Bellamy. And that'll bring us out here to First Avenue, which with the curve becomes Country Club Road. And that'll take us down along the Trent until we make our turn to come back. Although this is a marked bike lane, if there had been access to the sidewalk, I'd be up there. I have no problem riding on sidewalks. Not when it's a busy street and there's not that much room. Even in my boat when I was out cruising, I never worried about who had the right of way. I just worried about who was going to crash and who wasn't. Now this ride will take us over to the edge of the small community of Trent Woods. Which butts right up against New Bern. And it's also the home of a lot of the big and expensive houses in town. Nicholas Sparks, the author, has a house on down past where we're going. And later, on the way back, we'll go by the school that all those books and movies he's been responsible for made it possible for him to build. The Epiphany School of Global Studies. As I said, I have no problem riding on sidewalks. Doesn't make me feel wussy or anything like that. Just seems to make sense. Not much to point out for a while, so I'm going to put on some music. And now we come up on our turn to bring us back up on the way back. We leave Country Club Road for Steeplechase Drive. And now we go through the edge of Trent Woods. The houses along here remind me of construction back in the mid-60s. That was when our family, built a new house in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And the houses in that subdivision, a lot of them were strikingly similar to what we're seeing here. But it's particularly nice to see a neighborhood with mature trees. That was one of the first things we did when we built our house, was plant. But this is a nice, pleasant ride back through here. Road's not too busy. But I sure appreciate having a rear view mirror. I could never seem to look over my shoulder without swerving out into the road a bit. Now I just have to look down a bit and I can see what's coming. Makes me feel a whole lot safer. And so we'll leave you with another ditty here before we get up to our local bike shop and start yabbering at you again. Well, I try to find music that fits the mood of the ride, so to speak. The main concern is the copyrights. It's not always easy to find the music you want that isn't violating copyright content rules. That's why you'll hear a lot of classical music uh, in my videos. And even though I don't monetize, which the copyright claims would prevent, I can't see making a video and letting somebody else put ads on it when I'm doing all the work. So I just try to avoid copyrighted material. I don't mind them getting paid for their stuff, but since I'm only using it for background, I don't think it's quite as important to use copyrighted material. Now, in my slideshow videos, where I try to tell a story through pictures and the lyrics to a song, I don't mind them making money off of those. But for these, I prefer to keep the ads off of them. I know I find it annoying when I'm trying to watch something and ads keep popping up all over it. But we're back here on Trent Road, which is one of the two through streets from the west end of town to downtown, along with the highway, which is to the left of where we are. This is a road I usually try to avoid. As it's usually always busy and there's not a lot of room. And it brings us back up to the highway that we went over on the way there, and now we'll go under on the way back. But first, we'll make a stop at our local bike shop. Though I bought my bikes at Walmart and Target, I do bring them here for service. And I've gotten excellent service. Today was just a stop to get some information. As I'm looking to make some longer trips in the future. And I've got to cross the big bridge to do it. And the word is, it's not the best thing in the world for bicycles. So I wanted to get some local information on that. That's why I stopped at the bike store. And that's what I left with. Can make a loop going across the bridge, then heading down river, come back across on the ferry, and then back up to town. Once I get in better shape, I'm looking to do that. Possibly turn it into an overnight trip with a stop at a campground that has trails on it. And here's the Epiphany School that Nicholas Sparks built, or paid to build. It's mostly his money that went into this. And evidently he lives here still enough that this is where he's registered to vote. Now as we head back toward downtown, we'll put on a little bit more music. And here we are coming back into downtown. About to put another ride in the books. I think I like this shooting at an angle. It's nice to get a better view of at least one side of the street instead of just half of both sides. At least in these residential areas. I'm sure we'll be using it again. One thing you notice a lot of here in New Bern, and I imagine through other parts of the area, is there's a lot of metal roofs. Something I hadn't really seen much of before I came here. And here we are back at the museum and making the turn for home. The fresh seafood market there. And up here on the left used to be a bicycle shop. Then they moved downtown, further downtown I should say, and went out of business not long after that. We'll get a front view of the farmer's market here this time. That'll bring us up to Middle Street and the way back to the marina. Been an enjoyable day for a ride. Hope you enjoyed it. Found this little slice to be tasty. And we'll look for you next time when we take another ride. Until then, be well, be safe.